And I want to get this out of the way. I have one thing that I really want to ask you first is what makes you think you can be president if you don't even wear a tie?
Well, I didn't wear a tie on the debate. I don't wear a tie on the trail very much. I think America is ready for a different kind of president who's more about substance than form. And not wearing a tie is sort of an emblem of the fact that I'm not a politician. I'm not someone who's been rattling around Washington for years or decades. And unfortunately, most Americans don't think that career politicians are going to solve our problems. It's one reason I'm running for president.
So that's a great answer, by the way. It is a conscious choice not to wear the tie.
Yeah, I mean, I've worn a tie in the past.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. I actually went to a snooty.
Uncomfortable?
The tie is awful. I hate the tie.
It's not great. I went to a
yeah.
prep school as a kid that had you wear a tie all the time too.
Oh.
So that does not, let's say, engender positive associations.
So you have no experience in holding political office. You went straight from being a CEO, right, to running for president. Does it make sense that you went straight, it makes sense maybe to become a mayor or governor or senator first? Why did you decide to go straight to the presidency?
The main reason is that I'm running to try and solve the biggest problems of our time. And I think those problems are accelerating and getting more and more serious. So I genuinely didn't think I had 5 to 10 years of climbing the ladder to wait to address some of these problems. To me, the reason why Donald Trump's our president is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri. And those automation trends are just picking up steam as we close 30% of America's stores and malls because of Amazon. Self-driving cars and trucks are around the corner, and driving a truck's the most common job in 29 states. So if I bided my time and was like, oh, I'm going to run for mayor, and then maybe eventually I'll start trying to make this case, it's like we just don't have time for that shit. Truthfully, I didn't have time for that shit. The country doesn't have time for that shit. So decided to run for president out of the gate. And one of the things I'd say to people is, look, I'm not some asshole who says, like, oh, I'm going to run the government like a business, because they're very, very different things. You need very different leadership skills, and it's a different operating model. I've been the CEO of a business, and when you're the CEO, if you tell someone to do something, they kind of have to do it because you're their boss and you're paying them, and if they don't do it, then you'll probably end up making a change. But in government, you can't pull that off. You can't be like, hey, Mitch McConnell, do what I say, or like, he doesn't care. It's like they've got a different set of motivations. So you have to do something that's much closer to what I did as the head of a nonprofit for the last 7 years, which is you have a vision and then you try and galvanize energy and consensus around that vision. And that's something I can do, and I'll be very glad to do it as our president.
So you see us running out of time in certain things, and you felt compelled from urgency to run for president. Was there a specific moment where, that seems like quite a change in career path, where you were like, I'm a CEO now? I know you made an exit from that company, is that right, when it's sold?
Yeah, and I was the CEO of a private company that was acquired a while ago, and I started a nonprofit in 2011. I was actually just talking to some people last night about the fact that the real divergence for me was starting this nonprofit called Venture for America that helped train hundreds of entrepreneurs to create thousands of jobs in Detroit, Cleveland, New Orleans, Birmingham, places I'd never been, honestly. Like, I'd been operating mostly on the East Coast. And so when I made that decision, I found I found myself in all of these environments I'd never been in before, and I realized just how fundamental the economic changes were. And then when you do that work for a number of years and you realize that you're pouring water into a bathtub that has a giant hole ripped in the bottom, and the hole in the bathtub threatens to destroy our political system, our way of life over time. That's the urgency you're talking about.
Right.
I'm also a parent. I know. Congratulations to you both on
Yes, thank you very much.
joining the parent club.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you have kids, you also have a different perspective where you think, okay, how am I going to leave the country or the world in a condition that I'd be proud to leave to my kids?
Yeah.
And right now, I'm not excited about the world we're leaving to our kids.
And you have 2 kids, right?
Yeah, I have 2 boys, 6 and 3, one of whom is autistic. And so looking up and being honest about what I see coming down the pike, I knew that someone needed to do something. And as an entrepreneur, and you know this, if you say, oh, someone else will take care of this, that almost never works because no one will take care of it. So I decided I could make a contribution.
Interesting.